What is up, everybody? Bandit here for another Taco Tuesday. It's a little bit rainy outside, so I decided to go ahead and assess that badge issue that we were talking about. It seems that you all were just as split as I was whether I should take the badges off or PlastiDip them. As you can see behind me, I do have it masked up, and I am going to go ahead and PlastiDip. And the reason for that is then I can kind of cover both videos. You've already seen me take badges off, and I already have a full video for that. So we're going to be talking about PlastiDipping today. And the worst possible thing is I either peel it back off my badges or just take my badges off entirely, and we'll kind of play it by ear and see how it looks for a week or two, and we'll make that decision. But for right now, the badges are going to be black, and we'll get that started for today. So I made a trip to the local Advance store, and this is what I picked up. It's just PlastiDip. I asked for it. They knew exactly where it was, and it's a pretty easy process. Reading the back here, it says, make sure your work surface is really cleaned off, mask the area around it, and you're kind of going to go from there. So what we did is we tried to leave about an inch or two all the way around here, and the goal is to paint this entire strip black, trace the lettering of the badge with a toothpick or something similar, and then to peel off the masking around it, and hopefully it should just stick to the badge here and everything will be good. Reading the back of the can here, it does look like it's going to take a couple hours for all this to set, until it's fully dried and cured and everything like that. So we do have a little bit of time, but we're going to go ahead and get started here and see how it works. Alright, so we've been waiting quite a while now. We have quite a few layers on here, and we're going to start taking the masking off. From what I understand, you want to do this as slowly as possible, and really work your way around the outer lettering, then go back in the middle with either a toothpick or something similar, and kind of scrape out the center of the A, the center of the O, and other letters like that. So let's get started. So with the majority of the PlastiDip off, it did come up in just a couple spots, and I did my best to touch those spots up. When you are peeling back, you do often catch a little bit more of the PlastiDip that's on the symbol instead of just what was on your paintwork. And I'm a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to this kind of stuff, so I'm like I said, I tried to touch it up the best I could, but I'm not really sure if that's going to work out. But like I said, PlastiDip is non-permanent, so it wouldn't take much to take it off. And actually, this is about the third time that I've tried this side of the truck, and it's still not perfect. I am getting better each time, but as far as the application and the finish of it, I am really impressed. It's just getting the excess of the PlastiDip off of the truck and not taking any more off the symbol than what you want. It seems like when that stuff starts stretching, you do end up taking more off than what you want, and but I can attest to the fact that it does come off pretty easily, and it doesn't leave a mess behind or anything like that. So while we're waiting for the rest of this to dry, we'll go ahead and wrap up the rest of this video. So as far as the world of truck news goes this week, we're a little bit low. It looks like that this will be the last year for the current Wrangler, the JK Wrangler that we've had since about 2007. And they're going to have a few special editions for this last year before the JL comes out in 2018. Also, the EPA has released their figures for the next coming years, and it looks like more and more ethanol will be getting into our fuel. Look at that as a good thing or a bad thing depending on which end of the spectrum you fall on. Ethanol does add octane to your fuel because it is basically a corn-based alcohol. However, it is kind of corrosive, and it's getting harder and harder to find pure gasoline at your local gas stations. So all in all, what do I think of PlastiDip? Well, it's a really good idea. It's really difficult for me, and I'm sure a lot of you all, to paint a vehicle especially, and this really cuts down on a lot of the air and the hassle and everything else. As you can see, the masking that you do around the emblem or wherever else you want to PlastiDip isn't exactly a big deal because it can just peel off. However, the peeling process is a little bit difficult, and it will take you a little bit of time to master this. As I said, I did spend about 3 times completely cleaning this area, masking it off, and painting. And the third trial is definitely better than the first, but it's perfect by no means. So although this process was a little bit frustrating at times, I do really like the look of the black badges. Since I removed the other chrome badges on the rear of the truck and added the black grille, I think the black addition to the door does have a really, really nice look to it. However, if the PlastiDip does start to come off, we have 3 real options here. We could always just strip it off really easily, remask it up, and PlastiDip again. You never really know how it's going to turn out, and like I said, I am getting better, but it's still perfect by no means, and like I said, I am a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to this stuff. Your other options, however, are you could just run the truck with no badges on the door, which a lot of y'all suggested in the first place, or I could take the entire badge off, kind of use a really nice spray paint to it, and then stick the entire badge back on. I have done this in the past, and it is a little bit of a pain to take 3M double-sided sticky tape behind each letter and cut out each shape of every letter and then stick it back on the truck, but it does have a really nice look to it, and it would last a little bit longer than this PlastiDip. So that pretty much wraps up this week's video. I hope you really enjoyed all of the content. Let me know if you have any suggestions for future videos, whether that be truck news, stuff you're seeing out there, and all like that. As far as Instagram is concerned, my subscriber or follower count rather on Instagram is growing pretty nicely, and I really do appreciate the support. A lot of y'all have been sending pictures of the deer and other game in your area, and I really love seeing that. Be sure and keep doing that. I do really appreciate it, and best of luck to all of y'all. Unfortunately, in the woods last week, I didn't have a whole lot of luck, but it's always good for the mind and everything else to be out there, and I really enjoyed myself. So thank you all very much for tuning in to another Taco Tuesday. Have a fantastic week, everybody, and we'll catch you next time.